Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an interesting discussion because as an owner of a business for 37 years prior to becoming a U.S. Senator, my wife has a business in our downtown Jasper, Indiana, where we both grew up. I had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, especially that all small businesses have to contend with. I mean, there's a high fatality rate to make it in terms of surviving into 5 years, let alone 10 years. And when you do finally get there, you got to remember that probably those businesses, to keep employees and keep customers, have had to do things generally right. And in the short period of time I've been here, a little under 3 years, and especially over the past 9 to 10 months, I think there's just a complete disregard for the productive side of the economy that pays all the bills of this place. And then we have to contend with the mandates that seem to be rolling out on a weekly basis. And I think a lot of what we've had to deal with, of course, was with the pandemic. I saw that businesses across the board, I visit all 92 counties in my home state, talk probably more than any senator to entrepreneurs and business owners because I'm the one most recently from there. And all I can say is here, when it comes to retirement plans, having some way to get your employees hooked up with an IRA or a 401k, it's not like employers are shirking that. It comes down probably to whether they have the capability to do that and all the other things that are being asked of them currently. Like, for instance, forcing businesses that now up at 100 employees to where you either got to get a vaccine or lose your job. And that is government in overdrive, government gone wild, and it is a complete lack of respect for that productive side of our economy. I don't know when enough is enough. I think when bureaucrats in government do things, they do it with no context or perspective because most of them have never been there. And all I can tell you, I'm not talking about the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, I'm talking about maybe the National Federation of Independent Businesses. And when you take it down to 5 employees and you're willing to be that punitive to a $10 per day per worker penalty, something is out of order. And I think that as these accumulate, as we keep hitting a sector of the economy, small businesses in this fashion with what they've just come through, unless you're purposefully, intentionally trying to put even more companies out of business, it's not the time to do it, especially when I can tell you they're doing everything they can currently if it's within the realm of their capability to do these things anyway. I got a question, and I'd like Mr. Akabas to answer this. Along with what we're talking about here, along with the other mandates you've seen either looming or already issued, what does this do to the health of Main Street America? And focus on the broad maybe picture as well as this particular new directive, new mandate that we're putting on small businesses.
Well, thank you, Senator. It's good to see you again. I think you're right that we need to be mindful of the types of burdens that we are placing on small businesses who have limited resources and limited financials to manage those types of burdens. When it comes to retirement in particular, I think that there's a way to navigate this and make sure that we make it extremely simple and almost costless for businesses to comply with some type of standard that supplies their employees with an ability to save for retirement. I agree with you that having a heavy-handed requirement with lots of specific requirements that entails a lot of cost would not be appropriate. But I do think that there's a way that we know that these mandates are coming already at the state level. We can have a standard at the federal level that first makes it easier for small businesses to comply and provides them with tax credits in order to do so and simplifies the system for them. And then expect that they would provide their employees with an ability to save for retirement, because I do think that that's really important. And right now we know that so many employees at small businesses don't have that opportunity. So I fully agree with you that we need to make sure that any mandate or burden that is put on employers is taken with deep consideration and making sure that it is as costless and burdenless as possible. But we also need to balance that with the need to make sure that their employees have the opportunity to save. So I think both are important.
Thank you. I think that's a good way to look at it. Appreciate the comments.